Hi everyone, Molly here. Welcome to your practice. So this practice is a little bit of a shorter practice and a little bit more on what we would call the restorative side of things. In fact, we're not even going to stand up at all. And for some people, this idea of restorative yoga often is equated with kind of a sedating energy or kind of a lowering of the energy. But in actuality, what this idea of restoring really means is restoring the flow of energy in the body back to its natural capacity. And sometimes, yes, that does mean actually kind of helping our bodies to settle down, to calm down, to come out of the fight or flight side of things, but sometimes it also means liberating the energy so that we have more access to power when we need it. And so for our practice today, we're really just going to focus on this idea of harmony, of balancing, and allowing things to return back to normal. And in fact, sometimes a lot of us feel really tired in life, not necessarily because we don't have enough energy, but rather because there is some kind of stagnation or some kind of tension that we've been holding habitually in a certain way in the body. And little by little, that just creates a traffic jam of the energy so that we don't have access to what we need. And in fact, life asks many things of us. And this idea of calm that I think we often associate with being yogic in life is really more a state of awareness. And so what we're working toward with our daily practice, and especially our physical practice, and even more especially with a restorative practice, is to not lose awareness in any moment of life. And we all know sometimes we need to be really fiery and really powerful. Sometimes we need to stand up for ourselves. And often with that huge burst of energy, our mind kind of sprouts out away from us as well. And the same with sedation. We often fall into sort of states of depression because the energy just gets heavy and stuck. And so with this harmonizing in a more gentle, encouraging way in the body, what we little by little are doing is cultivating our ability to stay aware no matter what we're trying to access. And by harmonizing the flow of energy in the body, we have greater access to what we need when we need it, so that we stay really current, we stay really aware, and we're responding to life rather than reacting to it. So for this short, simple practice, you don't actually need any props. Just make sure that you've got enough space around your mat. And we'll go ahead starting lying on our backs. So again, if there's tenderness in your lower back, sometimes lying on the floor doesn't feel so good, so you can bend your knees and let your knees fall in toward one another. If you have a bolster at home, feel free to grab that, but otherwise, starting in a Shavasana-like position here with the arms and legs a little separated from the body, palms facing up and toes really falling out to the sides. And once you find a place where you don't need to fidget or adjust anything anymore, go ahead and close your eyes. And remembering that the eyes closing, not a shutting out of the world, but just a different way of listening to our internal experience. And gently invite the mind's eye, the awareness, the imagination to begin watching the breath. No need to change anything just yet. Just watching and listening and experiencing how the breath moves into and out of the body. Maybe where you feel sensations, where the breath moves a little more easily. And doing your best not to label or start a story or conversation about what you find, but just watching and listening with a gentle, eager curiosity. And after your next exhale, begin to slowly deepen the breath. And doing your best to deepen the breath, making it more full, more complete, without adding any tension to the body or the face or the jaw. And as the breath begins to grow in the body, as the breath begins to fill a little more space with each inhale, and feel a little more complete with each exhale, maybe a natural sigh or two is coming out during this process. Perfect. Begin to become aware of the little space in between the inhale and the following exhale. And the little space at the end of the exhale before the beginning of the following inhale. And as you continue to imagine that the breath can grow and expand a little bit more with each round of breath, keeping a gentle awareness on these edges, on these spaces between, and begin to imagine the breath like a circle. At the top of the inhale, there's a gentle curving and falling down into the following exhale, and at the bottom of the exhale, a gentle curling up, a gentle invitation for the next drawing in of the breath, the next inhale. And keeping this imagination, this concentration on this circular nature of the breath, maybe beginning to notice that naturally the inhale and exhale begin to match one another in length. And take 3 more deep rounds of breath like this, following the natural circling of the breath, no beginning and no end. And feeling the gentle evenness that this concentration creates. The inhale matching the force and length of each following exhale, which matches the force and length of the following inhale. And at the end of your third inhale, go ahead and reach your arms up overhead and start to stretch the body from the tips of the fingers to the tips of the toes, working toward banana pose here. Listen carefully. Keep the whole back of your body on the mat and take a step to the left with your left leg, letting it rest back to the floor. Take a step to the left with your left arm, and then again, keeping both butt cheeks on your mat, step the right leg to join the left and step the right arm to join the right. So you're making a little C curve with the body to the left. And once you find your shape, once you find your navigation, return for a breath or two to that circular nature of the breath. Using the harmony of the breath to harmonize the mind and to more deeply encourage the harmonizing of the energy of the body. Great. At the end of your next exhale, walk everything back to the center. Pause there, have a little stretch up and a little stretch down, and then as you're ready, right leg takes a step to the right, right arm to the right, left leg joins, left arm joins and you're making a little C curve to the right, fondly called banana pose. And once again, finding a few rounds of your circular, infinite breath in and out. Beautiful. At the end of your next exhale, bring the body back to the center and have one big long stretch, and then bend the knees. Place the feet flat to the floor first, and then hug the knees into the chest, one hand to each knee at the top of the shin. Begin to rock right and left here, a gentle massaging across the spine. And then keep the knees drawing into the chest. Spread your arms like airplane wings, shoulder height, palms facing down. Inhale here in the center. Exhale, rock the knees over to the left until they hover over the floor but don't touch down. Inhale back to the center and exhale the knees to the right, hovering but don't land. Inhale through the center. Exhale, knees to the left, trying to keep them at the level of the belly button. Inhale back to the center. Exhale over to the right. Great. Inhale back to the center. And as you exhale, go ahead and have a graceful landing, letting the knees fall to the left. Do your best to keep your palms facing toward the floor, getting a little stretch through some of the fascia lines in the upper arms and the shoulders. And staying here for another breath or two, or extending the right leg straight until it joins the fingertips of the left hand. And just enjoy a little added stretch across the outer edge of that right hip. Finding the circular nature of the breath. Not being afraid to stay. Maybe a little longer than we normally would. To let the suggestion of the posture really ripple through every layer of our being. Good. If the right leg is straight, go ahead and bend it to match the left. Replace the left palm to the mat and draw the belly in to draw the knees back to the center. Pause there for an inhale, and as you exhale, knees rock to the right, but just hover over the ground. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, knees hover to the left. Good. Inhale back to the center. Knees fall to the right, but just hovering over the floor. Inhale back to the center. Exhale to the left. Good. Inhale back to the center. And now the graceful landing. Knees fall to the right. Shoulders stay nice and heavy. The back of the head is resting on your mat, and your face, lips, cheeks, and nose are relaxed. Have a breath or two here, allowing the spine to respond to the twist. And then if you tried on the first side, go ahead and extend that left leg toward the right fingertips, maybe making a connection there. And then everyone together finding a few breaths. Inhale equal to the exhale, no beginning, no end, sweet little curvatures between each part of the breath, helping us remember how connected everything is. Beautiful. Soften the left knee, draw the belly in, and bring those knees back to the center. Give them another little hug into the chest, and then place both feet flat to your mat and heel toe the feet out to find the outer edges of the mat. Spread the arms once again like airplane wings if they came to any other position, but this time flip the palms up. And then just begin to rock the knees right and left, creating a windshield wiper sensation here. Do your best to find the circular breath even as you're moving here. And also doing your best not to dig into any bruises that you might find along the way, areas of tension in the body. Try not to add muscular intention there, but just recognize that they're there and let the movement itself help to encourage some softening and opening. The next time your knees come to the left, just let them fall with gravity. You can heel toe your right foot a little bit to the right to bring that thigh more perpendicular to the short edge of your mat, or more parallel to the long edge. And another offering here might be to extend the left toes to the left. This time the left foot may be finding the left hand. And then returning to the breath. Inhale, even to the exhale. And the top of the inhale, just curving and tumbling into the next exhale, which gently curves to invite the next inhale. Good. One more nice big deep breath here. And then if the left leg is straight, soften it back. Bring both knees back to the center and just pause in the center to realign the hips and the feet. And then off you go, right and left, letting the knees oscillate side to side. And the next time they fall to the right, just let them fall. Maybe heel toe the left foot to the left just a little bit. And remembering that as you're following the video and following the sound of my voice, if something doesn't make sense, you feel free to just not do it and stay where you are. And if something makes sense and you try it and it doesn't feel good, just return to where you can breathe. If you extended the left leg on the first side, go ahead and extend that right leg to the right toes, maybe finding the right fingers. And wherever you choose to be, recognize that it is your choice. And have a deep breath or two into that freedom. Beautiful. Soften the right knee if it's extending out. Bring the knees back into the center and just heel toe the feet back to the center of the mat. Lift one arm or the other and roll onto that side of the body for a breath or two. And then as you're ready, use the strength of the arms to bring you to a comfortable cross-legged position, Sukhasana. If it's difficult to sit up straight in Sukhasana, maybe wiggling a pillow under your bum. And then place the hands to the knees, drop the chin to the chest, and have a circle with the head to the right. And when the chin returns to the chest, just have a circle over to the left. And repeat that a couple more times. One circle to the right. And one circle to the left. And one circle to the right. And one last circle to the left. Great. As you return to center, lift the chin, touch the fingertips to either side of the hips. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And as you exhale, right hand to left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, sit up really nice and tall. Exhale, twist open over the left shoulder. Inhale, imagine the tips of the ears kind of lifting up toward the sky. And as you exhale, a gentle movement into the twist, doing your best not to muscle into the place where you think you should be or working to find your edge here, but twisting to a place where you can breathe and relax and pause and enjoy and watch. Great. Look forward. Reach the left arm out to the left. Flip the palm up and come up and over for a gentle side stretch. Right? The right hand is still pushing gently down against the left knee and maybe looking up underneath that left arm. And inhale back to the center. Place both palms in front of your shins and just have a walk forward with the hands. It doesn't matter how far forward you go, but try to relax your head between the upper arms. Rock the weight back to the best of your ability into the hips so you feel steady as the spine folds forward. Have one more nice big deep breath here. And then walk the hands back. And once you're seated, just switch the crossing of your legs. Good. Touch the fingertips to either side. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, left hand to right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale, sit up nice and tall again. Exhale, twist open to the right. Inhale, sit up a little bit taller, but softly, like your body is made of silk or linen. Exhale, twist open. And see if you can return to that infinite nature, that circular nature of the breath. Staying long enough in each posture that the suggestion of the shape ripples through every part of us. Good. Look forward, extend the right arm out to the right, flip the palm up and over you go toward the left. The left hand is pushing gently down against the right knee and maybe twisting to look up gently under the right arm. Good. Inhale back to the center, place the hands down in front of you and again walking forward. Let the ears fall between the upper arms. Maybe a gentle push down and forward with the palms to feel the hips get a little heavier. And so many times in life we take an action, but we don't really give enough time for it to have its natural reaction. So here, as we move a little more gently, a little bit more kindly, giving the body an extra moment to really evaluate the suggestions we're making. Great. Walk the hands back, bring yourself back to a seat, and just bend the knees in to give yourself a little hug here. Hug around the knees. Maybe let the forehead drop to the top of the knees. And take 2 big deep breaths here in this sweet little drawn in posture. And then lift the gaze. Keep your right knee hugging into your chest and extend the left leg forward. Janu Shirshasana. Drop the right knee out to the right and then wiggle the heel as close to the groin as you can. Inhale, reach the arms high to the sky. And as you exhale, place the hands on either side of the left leg, even if you know there's a greater depth to the pose for you. And then we'll all just walk gently forward together, however many paw prints that might be for you today. And keeping the hands on either side of the legs helps to keep the shoulders a little more even. And then if you're ready and you feel there's more space, bend the elbows down to the ground and let the front of the body melt over the front of the left leg. Feeling the breath, filling and expanding through the body. And a gentle awareness on the fact that the breath is the ultimate symbol of transformation. Nothing created, nothing destroyed, just a translation of how the energy is moving, coming in, transitioning, moving out. The more harmonized the energy of our body is, the more we have access to this power of transformation always. One more nice big deep breath here. And then walk the hands back. Good. Draw the right knee into the chest and just extend it out with the left. Have a little shake of the legs, really simple today. Draw the left knee up to the chest, let it fall out to the left, and then hug the heel into the groin. Good. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale again, one hand to either side of that right leg. Walk the hands gently forward. That might be an imaginary walk for you. And then pause where you begin to feel a good conversation in the body, where you also have the honesty of your breath, completely free and accessible, and then maybe lowering the elbows to the ground, maybe bowing the head toward the front of the left leg, of the right leg. Returning to the breath. And if here you begin to feel or recognize that you really do wish to calm the energy of the body down, just make the exhale a little bit longer than the inhale. And if, on the other hand, you feel kind of heavy or like it's difficult to feel motivated, just make the next few inhales a little longer than the following exhale. Right. 2 more deep breaths here. Begin to walk the hands back to bring you back to a seat. Draw that left knee into the chest and extend it with the right. Gently cross the legs so that you can begin to crawl forward to your hands and your knees. Wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And start to find some circular motion here with your head and your hips together. It doesn't matter what that actually means or what that looks like in your body, but just starting a little tribal roll here in Vidalasana. And then whatever it is that you're doing, it's right. Start to explore how much you can move the body around in a circle to the right, keeping whatever that original motion was. So maybe bending through the elbows, sending the hips back, keeping the head involved. Really just exploring and churning and enjoying some intuitive, natural movement for your body, but try to have all parts of the body remain part of it. Great. And come on back to the center here. Press into the right palm and lift the left arm up to the sky. Inhale here, and as you exhale, thread the left arm underneath the right letting the left shoulder drop to your mat and the side of the head drop to the mat. Maybe pressing gently into the right palm to peel the right shoulder open a little more, or spider crawling those fingers forward directly to the front of the mat and gazing up under the right arm. A nice time to close the eyes for a moment or two. And returning here to the best of your ability to that circular nature of the breath. Remembering that restoring isn't necessarily sedating. It's a level of harmony where we have access to all of our potential. And for these last few breaths, can you relax your toes, the soles of your feet, your ankles, the tops of your feet? Relax your knees and your shins and your calves. Great. If the right arm is extending, bring it back to the mat. And everyone unwind together to the hands and the knees and just pause there for a breath. As you're ready, start a circular motion with the head and the hips and try to move the opposite direction from what you did on the first side, and stay here for a moment or two, just finding that circular spiraling motion. And then again, start to incorporate a huge circle in space with your body to the left, trying your best to keep the head and the hips somehow involved in that exploration. And this is another nice time to reclose the eyes, so we're not even really watching or aware of what we think it should be, but just go and do and feel and circle around to the left. Let your hips stick out and reach out. Bend your elbows. You know I love sound effects, so go ahead and do that too if it feels good. And then gently returning your body to the center. Press into the left palm, reach the right arm up. And as you exhale, thread the right arm under the left, bringing the right shoulder to the mat. Right side of the head to the mat. Maybe a gentle press into the left hand to peel the left shoulder open. Maybe spider crawling those left fingertips directly in front of you toward the front of the mat to give a little more opening to the rib cage. Returning once again to the circular nature of the breath. Relax the toes, relax the ankles, relax the calves and the shin. Great. Bring the left hand back in if it's extended. Return to your hands and your knees and just pause there for a deep breath. From here, look to your hands and draw your right knee forward to come behind your right wrist, and then spin your right ankle in the direction of your left wrist. And then bring your left knee in toward your right foot and just have a seat down in zigzag pose. If you need to readjust your seat a little bit or hug that left heel in toward the bum a little bit more, go ahead and make those adjustments now. And then place the hands directly in front of your right shin. The right shin parallel to the front edge of your mat to the best of your ability. This might be the perfect place to stay. Stay and breathe and just gaze at the floor between the hands, or one paw print at a time, walking the body forward, but doing your best to stay directly in line with your right shin. If the hands begin to reach far enough, it might be possible to lower the elbows down to the ground. And if the elbows are on the ground after a breath or two, maybe even folding the hands on top of one another and just resting the forehead there. Wherever you decide to be along the way, return to the breath, the hips like our life saddlebags carrying so many emotions and so much residue from either undigested experiences or things that we just haven't digested fully yet. So be patient here, be kind. As you let the breath work its magic, and you pause long enough to allow the body also to work its magic. Most things in a healthful situation will digest fully. We assimilate what's necessary in that moment and we get rid of all of the residue. And sometimes, because of various reasons and situations, that process gets stopped. And here, an opportunity to just clear out a little of that compost, helping the body to return to its natural state. But one more nice big deep breath. And then begin to walk your body back. Great. And rock forward to the hands and knees enough to wiggle that right knee back so that you're on your hands and knees once again. And then any small little intuitive movements here to help you feel a little bit softer, to regain some flow in those big joints. And then as you're ready, we'll bring the left knee forward. Left knee behind the left wrist, left ankle behind the right wrist. Draw the right knee up toward the left foot and just have a seat back. Take a look at that left shin. Make sure that it's as parallel as possible to the edge of the mat and hug that right heel in as far as it will go. Place the hands in front of the left shin and just pause, even if you went deeper on the first side. Both sides of the body, very different energetics, carrying information differently. And pausing here and then deciding where to go, either walking the hands forward, lowering the elbows to the ground, maybe spinning the palms on top of one another and resting the forehead there. And again, enjoying whatever choice you've made, and if you're not enjoying it, without self-judgment, you just make a different choice. And wherever you find yourself, see if you can reconnect with the breath. A nice situation to give a little more length to the exhale, as most of us feel some fullness and resistance in the hips. It's giving a little bit more room and dedication to moving out and clearing out from this part of the body. And count 2 more big deep breaths to yourself. As you're ready, begin to walk the body back to a seated position. And this time, just swing that right leg around and opening both legs so that the feet are flat on the floor. Good. Reach the fingertips forward and one vertebrae at a time. Like each vertebrae has a different color of paint, making a rainbow down to the mat. And once you're down, once again, reach up and stretch down through the whole body. Banana pose once again. Take a step left with the left leg, left with the left arm. Bring the right leg to join the left and the right arm. Both shoulders on the ground, both hips on the ground. And taking a nice deep breath into the right side of the body. And then come on back to the center, pause in the center, and as you're ready, over to the right side, arms and legs together, back of the body stays completely connected to the floor. And returning to the center, draw the right knee into the chest and just hug the thigh up and in, using the strength of your biceps, shoulders, throat, face relaxed. Moving to a simple twist, draw the right knee across the left side of the body with the left hand, extend the right arm out to the right. And if you want a variation of this experience, bend the left leg, reach down with the right hand, connect the foot and the hand, but then relax everything back to the ground. Moving with a little more awareness, a little more meticulously, gives us this beautiful opportunity to kind of watch our habits as well. So in yoga, it's such a beautiful invitation to not be afraid that a choice is wrong. When we make a choice that doesn't suit us, we just recognize that it doesn't. Maybe if we're keen enough, why it doesn't. And we make another choice. If the left leg is bending up, release the hand and foot. And then everyone together return to the center. Draw that right knee in. Grab a hold of the back of the right thigh. Reach the right toes up to the sky and just point and flex through the foot a couple times. And then release the arms to the sides of the body, keeping the right leg straight. Super slow motion all the way down to the ground. When the heel touches, draw the left knee into the chest and give it a little hug. Have a breath or two here, feeling the low belly rising and pressing against the top of that left thigh. And then when you're ready, draw the left knee across the right side of the body, extending the left arm out to the left. Again, if this feels like the right place to be, can you disconnect with any expectation, any sensation that doing something more is better? Because it's not. But if you want, take the option of bending the right leg, reaching down with the left hand, making a connection of hand and foot, and then everything tumbles back to the ground again. Maybe the circular nature of the breath has become more spontaneously recognizable. And just a gentle clue in here. Again, to this very powerful tool of transformation that is actually the very seedling of our life. And then straighten the right leg, release the left arm, draw the left knee back to the center, take a hold of the back of the leg, reach the left toes toward the sky, and point and flex through that foot, through the ankle a couple times. And then release the arms to the sides of the body in super slow motion. Lower the left leg all the way down, all the way down. When the heel touches, just begin to separate the legs from one another. Press gently into the heels to lift and adjust the hips to make sure everything feels good and steady and even here. And then wagging your tail. That seems a little bit funny since your tail is connected to the floor, but a little wiggle right and left here. And then a point and flex with the feet, which creates a little gentle rocking all the way up and down the back of the body. So the heels stay heavy to the mat. And you just lift and lower the toes in unison, creating a gentle rocking of the body across the skin of the back of the body, up and down, up and down, up and down. And then let the body fall. Spin the palms to face up. Press gently into the back of the head and the tops of the shoulders to draw the shoulder blades a little closer to the midline. And let the rest of the body relax around that. To finish today's practice, what I invite you to do is to remain in Shavasana for however long it feels intuitively right for you. Pausing and breathing and allowing yourself to soften into the moment for however long the body asks. And here in this final posturing, this final gesture with the body of Shavasana, an opportunity to feel the gold of your efforts. And sensing gently the uninhibited flow of energy through the body. And remembering gently that restoring is not sedating. Restoring is bringing back the natural harmony so that we can access all the multitudes of various expressions of life, uninhibited, awarely, and responsively. Stay and enjoy, and I'll see you the next time. Namaste.